The weight beneath the win. Let me ask you something. Why do some wins still feel empty? You got the trophy. You heard the applause. You stood on that stage. But deep inside, something's missing. You thought winning would fix everything. But here's the truth nobody tells you. The win ain't what makes you. It's what you go through to get there that does. See, everyone wants to win, but not everybody's ready for what comes before the win. The pain, the grind, the sacrifice, the sleepless nights, the setbacks that knock you flat on your back when no one's watching. Losing teaches you what winning never could. Losing breaks you down. It humbles you. It shakes your confidence. But that's where you build the real strength. That's where the foundation is laid. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. You think strength comes from holding up a medal? No. Strength comes from holding yourself up when everything around you is falling apart. You grow when it hurts. You grow when you want to quit but keep going anyway. That's where champions are made. Not in front of a crowd, but alone, in silence, with no applause, just grit, just heart, just you versus you. And let me tell you this, pain is the price. Growth doesn't come cheap. You don't get better by avoiding discomfort. You get better by walking through it again and again. They call it post-traumatic growth in psychology. But I call it refusing to stay down. You take that pain and you build with it. You stop asking, why me? And you start saying, try me. Don't chase the trophy. Chase the process. Because trophies get dusty. But who you become along the way, that lasts forever. So I'll ask you again, when did you grow the most? Was it when life was easy? Or was it when everything hurt and you kept showing up anyway? That's the real win. Not the moment you crossed the finish line, but the moment you chose not to give up. That's the weight beneath the win. That's what makes you dangerous. The obsession people don't see. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted something so bad it hurt? Not just in your mind. I'm talking about your chest tightening at night, your eyes wide open when you should be asleep, your body aching from chasing something nobody else can see. That's obsession. And most people don't understand it. They look at winners and say, wow, they're lucky. But they never see the grind behind the curtain. They never see the hours, the sacrifice, the lonely nights, the missed calls, the skipped parties. Everybody wants success, but very few are willing to bleed quietly for it. Let me tell you something. Obsession isn't pretty. It's not fun. It's not balanced. It's war inside your own mind. You wake up with it. You go to bed with it. You feel it in your bones. This ain't some weekend hustle. This is every single day. Rain or shine, sick or tired. You show up. Not because you have to, because you need to. There's a difference between people who want to get better and people who can't breathe until they do. That kind of focus? It's rare. Most people can't take it. They get distracted, pulled into noise, too busy trying to be available to everyone but themselves. But obsession doesn't make room for everything. You've got to say no to comfort, no to distractions, sometimes even no to people. And that's the cost. You might lose some things, but you gain something bigger: clarity, purpose, drive. You stop chasing applause. You start chasing meaning. Here's the truth. If you're not all in, you're already halfway out. You can't halfway chase greatness. It doesn't work like that. So ask yourself, would you rather be exhausted chasing something real or comfortable doing nothing that matters? Because obsession reveals the truth. It shows who's serious. Not the ones who talk about it, the ones who live it. Quietly, daily, relentlessly. You don't need everyone to understand your obsession. You just need to keep going until they can't ignore the result. Skill will take you, but what keeps you? Let me tell you something real. Talent is not enough. You can be the most gifted person in the room, but one day, that gift runs out. And when it does, you better have something deeper to stand on. That something is will. See, skill gets you noticed, but will keeps you going when nobody's clapping. Will shows up when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself, when nothing's working and everything in you wants to quit. That's when the separation starts. We've all heard it. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But that ain't just a cute quote. It's a warning. Because if you rely on talent alone, this world will humble you fast. Eventually, you hit a wall. You get passed up. You lose. And the ones who keep going ain't the most talented. They're the most determined. The ones who push through the pain. Who get back up when they fall every time. There's a science to this too. They say willpower is like a muscle. You can train it. You build it in silence when no one's watching. It's not about doing big things once. It's about doing the small things over and over. You want to know who's dangerous? Not the one with the most talent, but the one who refuses to quit. The one who shows up on the bad days. The one who works while others rest. The one who falls, fails, gets laughed at, and still shows up. That's will. Talent don't teach you how to stay calm in chaos. Talent don't carry you when your heart's broken and your body's beat. But will does. Look around. Everyone's got potential. But potential don't matter if you don't finish. So here's the question you've got to answer. When your gift stops working, who are you? That's the person who decides how far you'll go. Not the gifted version. The gritty one. The one that keeps fighting when the fire fades. The one that says, I'm not done. Skill will take you, but will keeps you. The noise that drowns purpose. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a day where you were busy all day, but got nothing done? You moved around. You checked things. You answered people. But deep down, you didn't move forward. You just moved in circles. That's not productivity. That's noise. And it's killing your purpose. We live in a world full of distractions. Everybody's online. Everybody's reachable. You've got 1,000 voices in your head before you even eat breakfast. And what happens? You lose your own voice in the process. They call it attention residue in science. That means when you jump from one thing to another, your mind stays stuck on the last thing. You're never fully present, never fully focused, never fully you. That's how dreams die, not with a big crash, but slowly, quietly, under the weight of noise. The Stoics had a name for this. They called it a sick soul. You look alive, but you're not really living. You scroll, you watch, you compare. But when it's quiet, you don't even know what you believe anymore. Here's the hard truth. You know what's holding you back. You just won't let it go. Because it's comfortable. It's easy. It gives you a hit of fake progress. But at the end of the day, you're stuck in the same spot. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another speech. You need to shut the noise off. Clarity doesn't come from chaos. It comes from silence. Comes when you stop trying to keep up with everyone else. And finally ask yourself what really matters. So let me ask you this. What's stealing your time? What are you pretending is harmless? But deep down, it's killing your purpose? Now imagine this. What if you unplugged? What if for 30 days you cut it all off? The scrolling, the mindless talking, the distractions? You'd meet someone powerful. You'd meet the real you, the focused one, the disciplined one, the dangerous one. Because once the noise is gone, the mission gets loud. Disappear to return whole. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really saw you? Not the version the world wants. Not the one that's always posting, always performing, always proving. I'm talking about the real you, the one behind the noise, behind the mask, behind the pressure. Truth is, most people don't know who they really are. They've been too busy trying to be seen, but visibility doesn't equal growth. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is disappear. Not to run, not to hide, but to rebuild. To shut the world off long enough to hear your own thoughts again. To fix the mindset. To clean out the pain. To remember the mission. Real transformation doesn't happen in public. It doesn't happen with likes, followers, or approval. It happens in silence, in struggle, in solitude. Neuroscience backs this up. Your brain literally rewires itself in stillness. But you don't need science to feel it. You know it deep down. You've been overstimulated, overconnected, and underfocused. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. You can't grow if you're always explaining yourself. Sometimes the best thing you can do is go ghost. Not forever, just long enough to remember who you really are. 30 days, not for the world, for you. Cut off the noise, cut off the pressure, cut off the need to be seen. Disappear, work, heal, refocus, rebuild. When you come back, they'll say, "You've changed." And you know what? They're right, because the version of you they knew, that wasn't the final form. That was the tired, stretched, distracted version. Now you're focused. Now you're disciplined. Now you're whole. So stop explaining. Stop updating. Start becoming. It's time. Disappear with purpose and return unstoppable.